ancient times, long before the dawn of recorded history, there lived a being of extraordinary might and wisdom, whose story has echoed through the ages. His name was Gilgamesh, a king among men, yet more than a man, a Nephilim, born of the union between the divine and the mortal. His tale is whispered in the ancient texts and hinted at in the Holy Scriptures, where the sons of God took daughters of men and giants roamed the earth. This tale and many more show the validity of the Bible in shared stories throughout the world, telling of the giants, Noah, the flood, and more. Gilgamesh's origins lay in the union of Lugalbanda, a mortal king, and a celestial being of immense power. His mother, a goddess of the heavens, imparted to him a supernatural strength and a restless spirit that could never be contained. Thus, Gilgamesh was born, 2/3 divine and 1/3 human, a Nephilim whose presence alone was enough to command awe and fear. The Bible speaks of the Nephilim as the mighty ones of old, giants who walked the earth before and after the flood, corrupting the hearts of men with their insatiable desires and towering pride. And Gilgamesh was no different. As he grew into a formidable warrior and a wise ruler, his ambition knew no bounds, and his strength was unmatched. But his heart was torn between the call of his divine blood and the mortality he could never fully escape. Gilgamesh became the king of Uruk, a city so splendid and vast that its walls were said to be built by his own hand. Yet he was a ruler who did not know limits. He wielded his power with a heavy hand, and his subjects often trembled beneath his rule. He demanded the right to any bride before her husband, and no warrior dared challenge him. The gods watched from above, concerned that their Nephilim offspring, like Gilgamesh, might tip the balance between the divine and the earthly. In his insatiable quest for glory, Gilgamesh sought the secrets of immortality. He believed that as a Nephilim, eternity was his birthright, but the gods had decreed that no such thing could be for those who shared the blood of humans, however divine they might be. Yet Gilgamesh, stubborn and determined, refused to accept his fate. The gods, seeking to temper Gilgamesh's unchecked power, sent Enkidu, a wild man of the plains formed from clay and water, a match for the king's might. Enkidu, though human, was crafted with divine intent, and he stood as a mirror to Gilgamesh, reflecting the humility that the Nephilim king lacked. The two battled fiercely, neither gaining the upper hand until at last they recognized each other as kindred spirits. Thus, they forged a deep bond, as strong as the foundations of Uruk itself. Together, Gilgamesh and Enkidu embarked on epic quests that shook the heavens. They slew the demon Humbaba and defied the bull of heaven, sent by the goddess Ishtar when Gilgamesh spurned her advances. But the gods, displeased by the audacity of these two warriors, decreed that Enkidu must die. And so he did, leaving Gilgamesh in despair, haunted by the realization that even the mightiest could not escape death. Grieving the loss of his closest companion, Gilgamesh wandered the wilderness, driven by the dread of his own mortality. He sought out Utnapishtim, the immortal survivor of the great flood, the same flood that had been sent to cleanse the earth of the Nephilim's corruption. Gilgamesh hoped that Utnapishtim would reveal the secret to eternal life, but the old man told him that immortality was a gift reserved for the gods alone, not for those who walk the line between the divine and the mortal. Utnapishtim challenged Gilgamesh to conquer sleep, a cousin of death, but Gilgamesh failed, proving once more his human frailty. As a consolation, Utnapishtim told him of a plant that could restore youth, and Gilgamesh retrieved it from the depths of the ocean. Yet even this victory was fleeting. A serpent stole the plant as Gilgamesh rested, shedding its skin in a sign of renewal that would forever elude the Nephilim king. In the end, Gilgamesh returned to Uruk, wiser, but no less mortal. He carved his story into stone, hoping that his deeds would grant him a semblance of the immortality he so desperately sought. He understood now that the legacy of a king, even one of divine lineage, lay not in defying the natural order, but in the enduring works left behind. His walls, his city, and his story would be his true monuments. Gilgamesh, the Nephilim, had sought to transcend his human side and grasp the eternal. But in his journey, he discovered a different kind of immortality. The legacy of a life lived with courage, the bonds of friendship, and the wisdom to accept one's place in the cosmos. And so, his tale became one of the oldest and most enduring stories known to mankind, a reminder of the delicate balance between power and humility, ambition and acceptance, mortality and the divine.